Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Dal Stone, and today we are finally in ZBrush. Axe is in there, right? This is exciting stuff. We've been waiting for this. I'll be honest with you, I've been waiting for this. Prepping everything up in Maya, that's cool and that's fun. Getting the basic shapes and stuff like that, that's awesome. For beginner artists, I mean, what we have right now is pretty cool already. You know, you soften it up and it's probably gonna look pretty decent. But for me, I'm gonna make sure that this thing goes next level, right? So, time to sculpt, time to put in that detail. So first things first is in ZBrush. It's so easy to go crazy and go too crazy, right? So you need to kind of, as an artist, one of the first things that I've learned from a lot of my critiques from my art directors and senior artists and my peers is focus on the silhouette. Focus on the big things first, then go into the nooks and crannies and go and put the dimples and all those things into the work. So I'm gonna try and illustrate this a little bit better here by putting up the reference for this dragon. I'm calling this a dragon steel axe. Here we go. Right, so first thing I'm gonna focus on is just getting like little quick bevels and stuff like that in here, getting a decent looking shape. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty little small details, like these little nicks, like these little pimples and dimples and all this stuff, we'll worry about that later. First things first is getting these nice little edges, getting the general shape looking right to how I want it. And already, because I did a decent job already in Maya creating a good shape, it won't be too much work in there. And I totally failed episode 2. I said to myself that I was going to start doing more like time-lapse style things, where once I start like working, I'm gonna just time-lapse it, and I completely failed that. So I'm sorry you guys for that video. That video is like 40 something minutes, and I apologize. I'm gonna do better at trying to cut myself off once I start jamming. I'm just going to turn off the webcam and I'm just going to go work. I also realized that my webcam position here is actually not good for ZBrush, so I'm just going to turn off my webcam for now. So a few things I want to go over is I have a crap ton of brushes here, which is super confusing, and I'm going to clean this up eventually. I want to just go over some brushes that I use a lot and have become industry kind of standards. I'm gonna reset all brushes because that's just a little bit too crazy. And no, okay, so that doesn't work. All right, guys, sorry about that. I had to make a cut because I realized that I wanted to clean up because that was a mess. That was a mess, and that was back in the day when I was learning ZBrush, and I was just got all excited with all these cool brushes, and I just kind of installed everything, realizing really all you need is a few good brushes and you're set to go. So for me, what I have, the two that I use the most that isn't in ZBrush by default is Orb's Cracks and Orb Flatten Edge Protect. These are two brushes that I use very frequently that you'll need to find, and Orbs is very, very popular in the 3D world. I'm sure if you just type in Orb Cracks brush, ZBrush brushes, like it'll come up because tons of people use his stuff, and he has tons of other cool brushes, but these two are the ones that I use the most. Alright, guys, sorry about that. I had to do my computer essentially, or my ZBrush crashed, OBS crashed the second I did that. So we're gonna try a different route. Okay, so we're gonna try a different route. We're gonna go with the we'll try the Dynamesh. We'll go with the resolution 128. So we'll do that. Okay, and we'll get back the really nice edges later. Okay, and I'll show you guys how I will do that. Okay, but essentially what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna take a look. Like, all of these look like they probably are gonna have issues, right? Because they're not nice. So we're gonna go in. We're gonna Dynamesh it all. We're gonna Dynamesh this whole thing, just to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. And like I said, like the previous episodes now essentially become like useless because I ended up Dynameshing it anyways. which changes the geometry in Maya regardless. So me being all nitpicky about stuff earlier on essentially was useless, but it's good to know in case you do need to make nice geo for a low poly game, because this is the finished asset, right? But this one is not the finished asset. So yeah, so now we have nice quads, right? Which means now, or it should be nice quads. It's nicer, okay? It's nicer than what I had previously. So if I start to do sub Ds on this one, and at this point you can smooth it. Wait, did I smooth that one? There we go. There. Okay, so we'll start off with that. So I'll go through and I'll do this to all the different tools. So let's go in, let's smooth this out. Right, so it's got about close to 1 million per spot. No, so that definitely doesn't need to be 2 million, no way. And then we'll go with the chain at the bottom here. 1, 2, that should be good. So now they all should have the same subdivision. So it's got 4 subdivisions for that one, 4, 4, 4. So now it all has the same level of definition. So now I can finally go in and start to sculpt this bad boy. So I was saying before, we need to kind of smoothen a lot of this stuff out. Right, we need to smooth this out. And I need to only focus on one side because I'm just going to duplicate to the other side. So I'm using a trim dynamic here. Really though, I should be using, I'm just going to smooth a lot of this out. My smooth tool. Just smoothing it out, just making it nice and smooth. I want to break that line there. So maybe a trim adapt. No, trim adaptive is a little bit too strong. So let's go trim dynamic again. Just kind of break it up a little bit. And once you break it up, then you can just smooth it. And that should start to fix that issue. Right, so flatten that out a bit. Smooth it. Right, start to kind of go in there. Start to play around. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly show you guys. So that's trim dynamic. It's kind of like hammering away at the lines here, and then I'm just going to go and I'm going to smooth it. Alright, just like that. And essentially I'm going to be doing this throughout the whole asset. So when I start to do that, that's when I'll go in and what's that called? And then I'll go in and I'll do the time lapse for you guys. So first things first, though, I want to show you guys a tool. So that's trim dynamic. I use that quite a bit. Trim or orbs edge protect is really good. It's really cool. I'll show you guys that right now. It's kind of like it protects the edges, right? So you have a nice little hard edge there, right? That's pretty cool. So it's really neat, right? So you get this like really nice hard edge, right? It's kind of pushing it. So this is a really good brush, so I like using that one. I'm going to shift here to smooth this out a bit more. And then last but not least is Orbs Cracks, the famous Orbs Cracks. And this is really good at creating cracks, right? You know what I mean? Like, look at that. You can even you know, like it just does such an amazing job at creating some cool looking cracks. So yeah, so those are the two tools. Actually, I guess that's 4 tools that I use. I use just the Trim Dynamic, Flatten Edge Protect, Cracks, and the Smooth, which is very, very handy. So I'm gonna time lapse from here going forward. Sorry for all the weird cuts in between, and yeah. All right, so yeah, so that is just kind of like a quick first pass, just getting some rough cracks in there, showing you kind of like how I'd go in and just kind of detail things. Essentially, I'm going to be doing that throughout the whole asset. So I don't really know how much people actually want to see the whole process. Regardless, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a time lapse of that in the future, like regardless. But for this video, I just kind of wanted to show you guys that process. I'm just going to quickly save this tool before it crashes on me. And yeah, essentially in the next couple videos, you'll see me kind of going through more of essentially that phase throughout the whole axe. And yeah, if you guys like what you guys saw, press the like button, leave comments, let me know what you guys think about the new format and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much. See you guys again next time.